حادثة لا محالة آتية ما بين رايحة تمر.
This order indicates that there is a creator that has willpower and knowledge.
Yeah.
Because this cannot organize itself. We are organized, right? So it's saying that there is a higher being that is one, uniquely one, independent, free of need, not man, not woman, not tree, not statue. A supreme being, cannot be visualized, cannot be drawn. Would you agree?
Yeah, I feel like there may be something, but not necessarily 100% convinced on it. And as I said, I am through like my university studies now, I'm working into science sort of thing, so I've kind of got that traditional sort of science background kind of conflicts my belief in that way. But yeah,
Science, it is a false dichotomy to say that either I have to pick science or pick God, right? We can take science and we can also believe in a creator, yes, but science is limited. Science is based upon our five senses, right? And science's assumption is naturalism. There's only a naturalistic explanation, yes. There is no supernatural explanation. So now that's the assumption of science. So it is telling you that there isn't a God. Like, a current scientists do not believe in a God, so they force that upon the data. Yes, but we're saying that the creator is not restricted to our five senses. Because if you're using science to find the creator, you are using the wrong yardstick. Yes, because you cannot see the creator, you cannot touch the creator, you cannot smell the creator, you cannot taste the creator, yes? You cannot see the creator, but you see the signs of the creator. In the same way that your jacket, I know that someone has made your jacket because it's complex, has certain features. Your jacket is a product of willpower and knowledge. It cannot come from nothingness. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Someone has made your jacket. I do not need to see the one that's made the jacket to know that it's been made. Yes? Same way, the world around you is highly complex. The day and the night. The day, it does not overtake the night, and the night, it does not overtake the day. This is a clear sign that there is a supreme being. Yes, because this order, it cannot organize itself. Your jacket, it cannot organize itself. It cannot self-create.
I mean, I agree in some respects, but there is the whole thing of randomness, that if you have enough random combinations of anything, it can form anything else, which is, I guess, the argument that's for science, not necessarily against the creator, but it's kind of the explanation for it that we have is randomness, which can't be attributed to science necessarily the same way. But no, I do respect.
So randomness, it doesn't exist, right? In physics, you have mathematical laws, right? If I get a baseball bat and I smash a vase, all those pieces follow mathematical laws. It's not random, right?
Is that true?
Yes, look at scientifically. Like, for example, you have footballers, right? Footballers know how to hit the ball. So once they hit the ball, they can, in terms of physics, that footballer can project. He can predict how the ball's going to move, because he knows how to manipulate the ball. Randomness will be if I punch the wall and the wall turns into a chicken. That would be random. But things follow certain laws. Therefore, if things follow specific laws, then we're saying that it has been decreed by a creator because it's not random. Things are very complex and following a certain trajectory, yes? Yes, for them, like cricket, for example, it's cricket, he hits the ball, he knows it's going to go for a 6. He knows it's going to go for a 4. If he hits it correctly, he knows this.
Yep.
If it was random, he will hit that ball,
Yeah, but
and that ball turn to a chicken.
That's putting
randomness.
things into very basic terms of it. Randomness in terms of say like molecules or atoms will move inside of a being. There is a certain randomness in there. It's not necessarily pattern. Like a more smaller level is randomness does exist. You know?
So your scientists, when they look at the world, they search for the patterns.
Yeah. So I said I'm a data scientist. That's what I work.
So you search for the pattern. You don't, because if it was randomness, you wouldn't do science.
Yeah.
In itself,
Yeah.
because things are random, things don't make sense. There is a pre-assumption of the world that nature is unified. Yes, but how do you explain that?
Yeah.
How do you explain that science, what people do, atheists do, is that, for example, if I had a camera, yes, and I take pictures of buildings, yes, the atheist would rush to the camera and say, oh, this is an amazing camera. Yes, it takes amazing pictures. But they would not look at the buildings and say, look, the buildings are organized and complex, and someone has made those buildings. Let's admire the one that's made the buildings rather than the camera. So, atheists admire science, but they fail to recognize the creation and its order and its complexity, right? And they attribute nothingness.
No, I respect that. I don't think you can separate science and religion in that same way. I think if I was to, for some reason, start following the belief, it would be a combination of the pair, so that these things happen in this way, which was like, if you take like the creation of the Earth, Big Bang, it was a random. It just happened to be that at that moment these things happened at the same moment. But the idea of that such a large scale, that being so random, having that perfect minute chance of that sort of thing happening, the idea for me would be that a higher power would be the sort of thing that created that moment, that allowed that sort of thing to happen. So I think there's room for both sides of what, like the science with religion is what I'm saying.
Yes, so where science is limited, right? Science is based upon inductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Science has paradigm shifts. Science is always changing. Science cannot give you absolute truth with the capital T, right? It cannot tell you about consciousness, because consciousness is not material. Yes, reasoning. How do you know that you have reasoning?
No, of course. Yeah.
Right. So if science has a pre-assumption that we are rational, yes. Therefore, we're saying that how do atheists actually account for the rationality?
Yeah.
Right? It's because you cannot verify it by science, even mathematics, our faculties that we have. How do we account for it? Right? So we're saying as Muslims is that where science stops, right? Science stops at a certain place.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Because atheists are.
There's things that we don't know, we can't know.
Science is limited because a lot of atheists do not understand the scope of science. Is that science stops. So where science stops, they are alternative reasons, right? Explanations. As I was saying, if the universe came into existence, where did it come from?
Yeah.
It cannot come from nothing.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah.
Has to be something that brings it into existence, right? For example, consciousness, how do we explain an immaterial part of the human being, which is consciousness, first person, subjective experiences? How do we explain this? I was saying a soul where we have a ruh, a soul, right? A morality, right? What's right and wrong. Science cannot deal with the things about purpose and meaning. It can tell you the how, but it cannot tell you the why. Yes. Therefore, we Muslims have always looked at science. We've been pioneers of science, right? Algorithms, Hassan ibn Haytham, all these things that we Muslims do not reject science, but we understand what science can give us, right?
Yeah.
So we're saying is that science is based upon induction, yes. The Qur'an is based upon deduction. Right? So that the Qur'an we can verify, because the Prophet Mohammed was an illiterate man. He could not read and he could not write. He could not know certain things. Yes. For example, the Qur'an, it speaks about how the universe is expanding.
Yeah.
Right. It's only in the 1940s when we saw the Hubble telescope, we saw the planets moving away from each other.
Visualize it, yeah.
Redshift, yes. The background radiation that we reduced. The universe had a beginning. Yes. So therefore, the planets are moving away from each other, right? And now the Quran is saying that that the universe is expanding. Yes. Right. And therefore, how can a 7th century desert Arab know that the universe is actually expanding, right? The Quran speaks about how the sun actually has an orbit, yes? 7th century.
Yeah.
It's only in 1940 when they saw the planets moving away from each other, they realized that the sun is orbiting the Milky Way galaxy, right? Now the Quran is saying this. Now they were mocking the Quran and saying the universe is steady state and these things, and saying how can the Quran say this, that the sun has an orbit? No, it is static.
Yeah.
Now the Quran, as science improved, they realized the Quran is correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're saying is that how does a 7th century desert Arab know this? How does he know that the universe is expanding?
That's a fair explanation,
So also we're saying, look, if the Prophet Mohammed made a prophecy and it came true, would you agree that he's a prophet?
I don't know.
Right? I'll give you the one. I'll give you it, right? So have you been to Dubai before? Dubai?
I haven't, no.
Do you know when they became rich?
Go on.
Maybe 60 years ago, right? Do you know that they were extremely poor?
Yeah.
They were extremely poor. And then they found oil, and now they are ridiculously rich.
Yeah.
Yes. So the Prophet Muhammad said, close to 1500 years ago, there come a time where these barefooted Bedouin desert dwellers, there come a time where they will compete in building tall buildings.
Okay.
Right. 7th century, the Persians had beautiful architecture.
Yeah.
Yes. The Roman and Persians had beautiful buildings.
Yeah.
But the people living in Arabia had nothing. They didn't have anything, right? He said not the city Arabs. He said
He's waiting for his
he said the desert Arabs, right?
Yeah.
So they were goat herders.
Yeah.
Now, where's the tallest building in the world?
Yeah, the Burj Khalifa, yeah.
Right? It used to be the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Now they are trying to build another building called the Kingdom Tower
Where, in Dubai?
in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And now they are competing.
Yeah.
How does he know this?
I mean, how does who know this? Mohammed?
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that these people, these barefooted Bedouin desert dwellers, they were literally goat herders, right?
Yeah.
And they were cut off from the world.
Yeah.
Even when Muslims were in Spain and they had the golden age of technology and stuff like this, right? Science. The people living in that location were still goat herders until 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Until they found oil.
I mean, some might say it was a good guess, but
He's saying specifically, he would have, if he's saying specifically, he would have said the Persian Empire.
no, of course.
It's more probable, right? The Roman Empire is more probable, right? But he's saying these people in this location will achieve this feat, that they would compete in building tall buildings.
Yeah.
It's impossible for him to know this.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway, I'm really sorry.
No
I'm
problem.
going to have to
Take
go.
this.
It was a lovely conversation we've had.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Take
Thank
care.
you very much. Cheers.
إن الحوادث لا محالة آتية